So you're a professional geek now?
I'm working on it, yeah.
You make movies, right?
Or
work on them.
Yeah, I just got my first major motion picture working on Disney's Tron 2.
I was waiting to ask about that.
And I got to work with a costume shop that got the contract to do the helmets. So I was with the electrical group who we helped design and install the lighting in the helmets, which was pretty impressive for a movie nowadays that takes place in a computer world where everything in every movie is CG, and yet they spent the money to have people in actual suits and lighted helmets.
Like the original?
Yes, right. There will, of course, be a lot of CG, but
I'm getting all excited.
But they spent money on people to have helmets with lights, and so that was really, really cool. When the movie comes out, I'll be able to post pictures of me holding the helmet. We also have made Daft Punk helmets because they're in the movie.
Daft Punk is in the...
Daft Punk is in the, of course.
Wow.
They're in Tron 2, and I wanted so badly to put one of their helmets on, but my area finished, and they were like, okay, you're done, so I didn't get a chance. But I took pictures with all the rest of the helmets.
Did you meet the band? Daft Punk?
No, they didn't come by.
Okay. Did you know? Maybe they were in disguise.
Possibly, but yeah, if they were there, they didn't tell me.
Did you like the first Tron?
I did, but then you know what? Recently, I watched it with a friend. I was like, ooh, those effects are really bad. You know, it was like
I was bored by the
sparkle. It was bad. And then everything in the movie was all like black lights with fluorescent tape that they had on their suits, which was hysterical.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, they just had like fluorescent tape on their suits, and then they had black lights on them. And so that was funny. And then a lot of the green screen effects were just so crackly on the edges. I was like, wow, how did we think that was great? It was funny. But it's still fun. And the new one looks like it's going to be really neat.
So how did you get that job?
I got laid off from this design firm I worked for. And then another person who got laid off went to work for them. And he had been to my house and saw my artwork. And he's like, hey, AJ, you do all that work with lights and electronics. Do you want to come and help on this project? I'm like, what is it? He's like, Tron 2. I'm like, yes. So, I went by and met with the owners and everyone. Yeah. So they liked me, and I went in, and it was great. A really great experience. I loved it. Now I'm spoiled. I want more work in that field. So.
You think you might get to make another lightsaber one day? You made one, right?
Yeah, I made a lightsaber.
Did you make it, or you designed it?
No, I took blueprints of Luke's from. I took blueprints of the one that Luke had in Return of the Jedi, and I just drew it up and took it to Machine Shop, and they cut it out, and then I detailed it. So I've actually started doing digital illustrations as well. This series is called Lightheaded because actually these are lightsabers.
Yeah.
And in fact, the one I had made, it was made from the file that was made for. So.
Cool.
That was actually a tribute piece I did to a fellow that got me into graphic design. He was a big Star Wars fan, so I made this series for him.
Right on.
But of course now you can go to Spencer Gifts and buy a really nice one for $100.
Oh.
So this was back in the day when they didn't have cool stuff.
I did it when it was cool. Just kidding. And so you grew up that kind of geek, like Star Wars, Star Trek, and all the comics too?
I did. Not so much comics, but yeah, I became a child of television. Being from a small town, 7 miles south of the French Quarter, it was really what you would say is a hick town.
Oh.
And it was really, really rough to grow up being gay at that time. And, the neighborhood kids were really rough, and finally at one point I just gave up on hanging out with any of them. This is a piece called There Are No Fags. And this was done for a Matthew Shepard Memorial exhibit here in LA. And it was made specifically for the show. And it's just kind of describes the hatred that some people have for homosexuals. And
those are knife blades and
scissors.
Oh, scissors.
And firewood and tinder and fireplace matches. And it's because, well, if you go on my website, it's got the whole story, which is www.ajcatalano.com.
What was that again?
ajcatalano.com. TV became my best friend, my mentor, my confidant, my family member. I could go to them and learn the lessons of life from, Bewitched on how to equality. I learned about to be against racism from, you know, Brady Bunch. You know.
TV's taught you that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Brady Bunch didn't teach you not racism. There was no black people on Brady Bunch, was there?
They had a neighbor, Ken Berry, and his wife. They were going to have a spin-off show, and they had two kids.
Brady Bunch?
Yeah, they were neighbors.
Oh my God, you're so LA to know this. Go on.
And they had their own son, and then they adopted another son. They adopted two kids. One was a black boy, and the other was an Asian boy. And they were worried about how the neighborhood would perceive them being a mixed family. And so the whole episode was to teach you how, you know, the Bradys, of course, were like, no, man, we love you anyway.
What season was this?
Oh, I don't know.
Like late? I never saw that. Are you sure it was a Brady Bunch? Not like Park or something?
Yeah, it was Ken Berry, and so he was. It was supposed to be their own spin-off show, which never happened. So yeah, I learned that. And then there was the episode of Bewitched where Tabitha had her little black girlfriend.
Really?
And they wanted to be mixed, so Tabitha did a little digga digga digga, and then all of a sudden they were both polka dotted.
I remember that. Oh wow. That was okay. I didn't really like racism, but
and at the end, Samantha said, honey, it doesn't matter what you are on the outside, it's what's on the inside that counts. She said, okay, Mommy. And that was it.
She was like, oh,
Bewitched knows, you know, Samantha, you know, was my teacher. So,
did you have a favorite Darren?
Both of them kind of creeped me out.
Really?
They were both bitches, and I didn't like that very much.
That's true.
And I was like, come on, she can do anything. You don't want her to do anything? Get her to make you a Batmobile, stupid. This is also a car I designed in 2004 when I was bored. When I worked at Toyota, I taught myself 3D on the computer, and so I just designed this whole car, and I actually got to prototype a model of that, which you can see.
Life size?
No, it's just about this big.
Oh, okay.
We'll see it in a few minutes. Okay. So this is the prototype of the car design that you saw previously.
Wow.
And it was really cool to get this made. So I'm all about
Toyota.
I'm all about getting the prototypes made.
You make a TV show too, yeah? Or what is a podcast? People come out to do that with the show.
No. A podcast is just like a radio broadcast that we do from Shell Sculpting Studios in Van Nuys, and they do makeup effects and a lot of movie work. So it's shellstudio.com.
Shell.
SCHELL studio.com.
SCHELL studio.
.com, and they have
they show makeup in movies.
They have a lot of their work in their sketches that they've done, and they have a tab that says Nerdcast, and it's just a bunch of geeky guys sitting around talking about nerdy stuff. So if you want to go and check it out, look for my name, AJ Catalano, in the list, and then that's the one I'm on. They even had they have special guests. They had the guy who played the new Jason in the new Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, is the younger Jason? Oh no, that's not.
No, the big guy. Yeah. Well, they remade Halloween, and then they remade Friday the 13th as well. Okay. So this is the new Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. He's a huge guy, huge skinhead, muscles, and the biggest geek ever. He was so great. He's like, yeah, AJ. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, he was great. He was there with his wife.
Okay.
And
what's his name?
Derek Mears.
Derek
Mears. He's popped up in a few films playing a big hulky guy, and but he's actually got alopecia, so he didn't actually shave his head. He told us that when he was younger, he was just a little Dungeons and Dragons playing geek, and then finally he decided, you know what, I want to make this my profession, so he started hitting the gym and got big and buff, and he's about 7 feet tall, and now he's doing movies and TV shows. So it's fun. So yeah, check out the Nerdcast. It's fun.
Okay.
You can find it on iTunes as well, but you can stream it directly from the site.
You made a music video though, yeah? Or how many have you done?
I produced and directed a music video for Monsieur Vamplande, and you can MySpace that or YouTube it.
Yeah, Monsieur Vamplande.
Monsieur Vamplande. And I produced and directed it, and since funding has kind of bottomed out, we're still trying to get it edited, but I do have some great new interns now that are helping with the CG work. It's very sci-fi,